So Real Madrid versus Atleti.
Yes.
Huge matchup. You mentioned it maybe a little too early. I love this. Every round there seems to be a final.
All
and
right.
that feels like the final itself. There was a crazy stat from it. It's not pulled up right now. Well, you have it.
Sure. Yeah, I have it. Yeah. So for Real Madrid, this was the 300th Champions League win, 63 more than the second closest club, which is Bayern Munich, which is also I'm surprised it's Bayern. I mean, there's Bayern has had the last decade, arguably, before they won it in 21, right? The COVID year.
Yeah,
that was
of
weird.
course.
But before that, it had a rough go, kind of in Champions League, where they were just.
But they are like a super club. These are two super clubs within their own leagues, and for them to, first of all, to be 63 ahead of the second place. That's why this is the top topic.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, I just think shows you. Versatile seems like the wrong way to put it. There's something about them where there's almost impossible to figure them out because they don't do anything truly specific. They're just really good at a lot of things.
Yeah, I would say that there's a clear incentive and strategic plan in place to win the Champions League, right? Where, yes, they've
won it more than anybody else.
And it's like, yes, we are trying to win the league and blah, blah, blah. But it's like they know what the cash cow is, and they know where to put the energy in.
They treat La Liga like the training for Champions League.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where not being in Europe, it's like I guess I could compare it to like our Champions League or our CONCACAF Champions Cup, where just LAFC hosted a game. I forgot who they were playing against, but they hosted a game and there were a little under 8,000 people at this game. So sometimes it feels like Champions League is not as important to league play, especially for Premier League fans. Like sometimes they don't really even care about it. Even if their team is in it, I just the fervor on the weekend from a bad call or it just seems more intense. It seems louder, and Champions League doesn't. I don't know what it is, and I'm happy to. I'm all ears of like why it doesn't necessarily feel the same. It's not as charged. But
for English fans,
just the state of just social media. It just seems loud. I don't know if it's do more people watch on the weekend than are watching Premier League games. I just feels like, but for Real Madrid, it just feels like it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think every other,
this is the league that they focus on.
For every other nation, I agree with you. I think it's part. I think it's part English fans having then to say like, oh, something that's not English is the best.
Sure,
kind of feels like something their ego probably can't take. I'm sure I'm going to get flamed now for saying that. But it's true. It's like if it's not happening within if it's not happening within the borders of England, it's almost like, well, then that's not important to us. That's a secondary competition when it couldn't be further from the truth. I think it should mean more to a Liverpool fan to win Champions League against some of the greatest clubs in the world versus just winning the Premier League.
Which is interesting because Liverpool did win the Champions League in the long stretch of never winning their domestic league. And that's sort of seen as like, but you didn't win the league. You know what I mean? Like it's just
crazy.
It's just kind of crazy.
Chelsea, remember when Chelsea won it with Roberto Di Matteo? There was like this random run of the team wasn't doable. I think they finished outside of European spots that year. But they won the Champions League, and people are like, yeah, but you didn't win the domestic league. No one would ever say that to Real Madrid.
And maybe it's a specific thing of like the country, because my perception is, let's say, like German fans and Bundesliga fans of Champions League is like, yeah, at least we're in Champions League. How nice that they invited us to the party.
Yeah.
Never this expectation that they're gonna win. Understanding, what the limitations in a competition like that the 50+1 rule puts on them, and they're not able to sign all the players that they can't compete with the signings that are on these other squads and stuff like that. So it's just an interesting kind of perception of
I think it's the English ego. They think their league is the single most important part of football.
Sure. Yeah.
Champions League is a way for the other leagues to compete with us.
It's interesting because it's led to them making the most money. And
I mean, it worked.
A lot of success,
right?
It's all propaganda, basically. But let's. So the Madrid derby, an incredibly entertaining game. We got 3 great goals, and then
3 incredible goals.
It's always fun when
trash
talking, but it's fun when there's like this felt like one of the more stylish. Like every goal was just like beautiful.
Oh, yeah. This was a showcase of extreme talent, of elite level talent. No, and also ankles that seemingly are made out of rubber. What? How is Brahim Diaz's goal possible, man?
Yeah, that was Wahoo. It's Jimenez that was defending against him. And
who got juked out of his shorts,
but
bro.
he got juked because he's like, yo, my man just shattered his ankle. Yeah, so let's get some medical attention.
Why would you also go down with him? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get down on the ground.
But that was like such a deep body feint of like, I'm a
kill a crossover. This is like AI level, Allen Iverson level crossover.
You never, if somebody's ankle looks like that, you are not assuming they're gonna cut back on you.
If my ankle looks like that, how long am I out? 6 months?
The audio listeners, if you're not aware of what we're talking about, Brahim Diaz is he's cutting back to go inside on his right foot, but as he does that, he rolls his ankle.
He rolls the outside ankle. His laces are touching the grass.
Right now we're looking at it looks like a backwards L.
Yeah, like if you did this to your G.I. Joe, it might not go back normal. You know what I mean?
And not only did he do this, and then he cuts back and then bangs in a great goal to the far post and gets by Oblak. A great goal.
Incredible.
Getting through 2 defenders.
And Simeone had said something in the press recently about like, Real Madrid has an incredible midfield. Mentioned a couple players. Luka Modric, I can't remember who else. They said, he goes, and also Brahim Diaz is there. Basically, to paraphrase. So Brahim Diaz heard that and said, you think I won't destroy my own ankle to show you wrong? Does this. A beautiful curler. Probably only overshadowed by Julian Alvarez's curler from the same position, essentially.
Sure.
Which was a little bit nicer.
Alvarez was further back and much nicer.
But from the but if not, this is the goal we're talking about. But he turns around and basically says, like, habla ahora. Talk now, bruh.
Yeah.
Talk now. Keep my name out your mouth, but also put my name back in your mouth. It's a weird statement.
Okay. Yeah. He has thoughts on the food orgy as well.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, get in the conversation.
So, but yeah, he says the comment he made, to Simeone said, Brahim no creo que juegue. He's meaning like, I don't think he's going to play. And Brahim, after the goal, says, hablaste ayer, habla ahora. Like, you were talking yesterday, why don't you talk now?
Yeah.
And which I love because Simeone is also a bit of a, like, he still behaves like a player. He's
like a catalyst.
He's not afraid. This is, I think, part of his, like, how long has he been manager at Atletico?
Since
15 years or something.
2010?
Something along those lines. I think he's second to Vermees, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, for 10 years.
In Europe, he's by far the longest.
And it's one of those, like,
also the highest paid.
The job security.
2011.
Yeah. The job security. He's like, I can talk to whoever I want, however I want.
Bro, I got the key to every door in this building. You know what I mean?
So it was just cool to see. Just a really good game with two teams that are like in form. I thought I still love watching Antoine Griezmann, whether it's in La Liga. It's
just literally what I was going to say. Antoine Griezmann is one of the most timeless players I've ever seen play.
Now and he's playing at a, like, he's not. It's not exactly slow motion where he's not athletically. He can't keep up with the pace of the game. It's like he slows the game down where you have to play at his pace.
Right. It's like how Luka Modric has been able to stay at this level for so long. Griezmann, I think, is a little bit more athletically inclined than Luka Modric.
Sure, yeah, he plays more up front.
Yeah, but also he's just like has a little bit more capability. Luka Modric feels like he does the things he does extremely well. I feel like there's a longer list of things that Griezmann does. But Griezmann, there's something about him where he now knows. He's like, bro, I done seen these motions a million times. There's nothing that happens in the game that he feels is new. You know what I mean? Sure. So he's almost like really prepared. Who was it that was like, I think it was like Wayne Gretzky who said like the game is in slow motion to him. Mm-hmm. Like that, it feels like Griezmann's playing the same way. Like Griezmann will turn his body in a way and defenders are just sliding around him. And it's like, he didn't really do nothing. And it feels like this is the type of player who hasn't gotten enough credit for the longevity he's had, how great he's been for so long. Maybe it was that move to Barca that kind of
Yeah,
put a little stutter in his career.
Yeah, he's just like, you know, it was like went to the wrong college.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Didn't go
100%.
Just didn't
You
go.
and coach didn't get along, but you went back. And now you're good again.
100%.
Like there's something about his career that for some reason we don't talk about him with the reverence we should. But this man, bro, to be moved back to the midfield when he goes to, you know, the national team and to look good. I mean, to look excellent in both positions, forward, wing, or whatever, you midfielder, wherever you put him, he seems to excel.